press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello students, we have been discussing about the chapter respiration in organisms, and in the previous class we have learnt about the respiration in human beings. Okay, so we have seen how the air gets into and what are the organs it takes, right? So the air basically enters into the nasal cavity or the nostrils and it gets into the pharynx. Okay, so pharynx is a common passage and then it gets into the trachea, that is the windpipe. Okay, and this trachea further divides into bronchi, with that further divides into bronchioles and alveoli at last. Okay, these alveoli are the air chambers present inside these lungs. Okay, and at last there is a structure called diaphragm. Okay, so diaphragm is the one which is responsible for the contraction and relaxation of lungs. Okay, so that means it provides a space. Okay, so whatever the oxygen we take in, we need some space, right? Okay, so that space is provided by this diaphragm. Okay, so now let us study in more detail about this respiration in human beings. Okay, so let us see how this mechanism of breathing is done. Okay, the process. Okay, so in mechanism of breathing consists of basically two processes, that is inhalation and exhalation. Okay, so what does inhalation means? In. Okay, so the word itself says in means taken in. Okay, so the oxygen or the air. Okay, so the taking in of air rich in oxygen into the body, that is inhalation. Okay, so as the name says, in means taking in. So what do we take in? We take in oxygen, right? So inhalation means the taking in of air rich in oxygen into the body. Okay, and opposite to this there is exhalation, that means giving out of air rich in carbon dioxide. Okay, so basically the gas we take in is oxygen and the gas we release out is carbon dioxide. Okay, the process in which we take in the air which is rich in oxygen is called inhalation, and the process, okay, in which the carbon dioxide, okay, the carbon dioxide is not required by our body cells, so that is released out. Okay, so that process in which the carbon dioxide is released out is called exhalation. Okay, so what is the inhalation and exhalation in detail we will see now. Okay, during inhalation, so what happens? Okay, during inhalation the diaphragm muscles contract. Yes, while discussing the diaphragm I have mentioned this diaphragm contracts and relaxes, okay, which provides the space for lungs. Alright, so this inhalation provides the space for lungs, that because of the diaphragm. Okay, so this diaphragm muscles contract. Okay, so this diaphragm muscles contract, right? So as it contracts, the diaphragm is pulled down. Okay, you can see in this image the first one, that is diaphragm is pulled down. Okay, so as you take in the air, okay, when the air gets inside, the diaphragm gets pulled down to provide more space. Okay, so then so that's what, as it is providing more space, that means thoracic cavity expands, which means the lungs expands, right? This is in connection with all points, right? So basically the diaphragm muscles contract, that contraction is nothing but the diaphragm is pulled down. Okay, so when it is diaphragm is pulled down, it provides some space, it provides more space. Okay, so that more space is the which makes the thoracic cavity expands. Okay, so which makes the lungs expands, and as of course inside the lungs the air pressure decreases. Okay, so this is about the inhalation. Okay, all this happens during just a fraction of seconds, like when you just take air in, okay, this all will be going on. Okay, diaphragm muscles, these contracts, diaphragm will be moved down and thoracic cavity expands, lungs expand, air pressure decreases, all that. Okay, so during exhalation, okay, during exhalation diaphragm muscles expands. Okay, so this is okay, you can see the differences between inhalation and exhalation, right? So whatever we have studied in inhalation, right, whatever we have studied in inhalation, okay, that is opposite in exhalation. Okay, during inhalation we have seen the diaphragm muscles contract, but here the diaphragm muscles expands. Okay, okay, if I said the diaphragm muscles expands, it provides less space for this oxygen, That means the lungs and the thoracic cavity expands. Okay, during exhalation, diaphragm muscles expands and diaphragm is pulled up. Okay, you can see here in the second image, the diaphragm is pulled up. Okay, the diaphragm moves back, right, which makes the thoracic cavity to contract. Okay, so here the thoracic cavity contracts, even the lungs contracts, and at last the air pressure inside increases. Okay, so you can see the differences between this inhalation and exhalation here. Okay, so diaphragm muscles contract in inhalation, and in exhalation the diaphragm muscles expands. Okay, in inhalation diaphragm is pulled down. Okay, pulled down is nothing but moved down. Okay, which makes the thoracic cavity and lungs to expand, and air pressure inside them decreases. Alright, so during inhalation exactly opposite happens. Okay, that means the diaphragm muscles expands and the diaphragm is pulled up, and due to the pulling up of this diaphragm there is the thoracic cavity and the lungs contracts. Okay, which makes the air pressure inside increases. Okay, so you can clearly see about this inhalation here. See you can observe the arrow marks. Okay, the arrow mark is showing inside, which means the air is taken in, right? So when we take in air, okay, so that is nothing but the process inhalation, right? During inhalation the diaphragm moves down, or the diaphragm is pulled down. Okay, so the diaphragm is pulled down or moves down, and you can see here the white color cage like thing. Okay, so that is what we call rib cage. Okay, which protects the lungs inside. Okay, here is a cage which protects this lungs inside. Okay, so when we inhale, okay, so air is taken in, right? The arrow marks are showing in. That is the inhalation. When there is a process of inhalation going on, the diaphragm moves down. Okay, the diaphragm moves down, and the rib cage, okay, this ribs, okay, the ribs present here moves outwards. Okay, these ribs moves outwards. Okay, see, as the air is getting in, okay, you can see as the air is getting in, this diaphragm is moving down and these ribs are moving out. Okay, these ribs are moving out, right? So this provides a more space here. Okay, so this provides more space here. Okay, well, when I say more space, that more space is for oxygen, right? Because we are taking in oxygen here. Okay, so when we are taking in oxygen, so this is the function we have of the diaphragm we have discussed, right? So while discussing the diaphragm, I have mentioned that contraction and relaxation of this diaphragm provides space for lungs during breathing. Okay, this is that point we have discussed, right? When there is inhalation, when the air gets inside our body, the diaphragm, okay, the dome like structure which separates the thorax and abdomen, okay, this moves down. Okay, this moves down and the ribs moves out. Okay, so the ribs moves out, making, providing more space inside. Okay, when we have more space, okay, that's where oxygen gets in. Okay, this is about the inhalation. And during this exhalation, what happens? Okay, so whatever the air we have taken in, it has to go back. Okay, so when it is going back, okay, so the arrow marks is showing the removal of this air, that is nothing but the release of carbon dioxide, that is exhalation, right? So during exhalation, air is forced out, and see, the diaphragm moves back. Okay, so basically the air here, what we have, the diaphragm moves down and the ribs moves out. Okay, after that what happens? Diaphragm moves inside. Okay, here it was moving down, right? Now this moves inside and the ribs also move inside. We have got less space there. Okay, due to that contraction. Okay, so this is what contraction means. Okay, due to this contraction, the oxygen present here, the air moves out. Okay, so this is what happens here. The diaphragm moves back to its place and the ribs which were moved outside moves back. Okay, the ribs which are moved outside, this moves back, which is responsible for this contraction, and due to this contraction, the air is forced out. Okay, so that air which consists of carbon dioxide is released out, and that process is nothing but exhalation. Clear? Now here is an activity which can make you more understand, make you more clear on this process of breathing. Okay, so what happens, we'll take a bottle. Okay, here we'll take a wide plastic bottle and we'll remove the bottom. Okay, you can clearly see this is a plastic bottle and we have removed the bottom, and yeah, get a Y shaped glass or plastic tube. Okay, here you can see this is the bottle, right, and we have removed the base, just cut it off. Okay, and here take this Y shaped, right, inverted Y shaped, you can see here. Okay, so inverted Y shaped this glass tube or plastic tube. Okay, and let this glass tube or plastic Y shaped tube inside this plastic bottle and close the lid. Okay, so, and yeah, make a hole in the lid so that the tube may pass through it. Yes, then to the forked end of the tube. Okay, so this is a Y tube we have taken. To the forked end of this tube, place two balloons. Okay, place two balloons and introduce the tube into this bottle. Okay, so this is the setup of this activity. So what do we have here? We have a bottle, plastic bottles which are cut at this base, or the bottom is cut, right. So now here what we have done, here we have cut the bottom and we have taken Y shaped, inverted Y shaped glass tube or plastic tube, and to which end of this fork we have tied two balloons. Okay, we can see we have tied two balloons. We'll make a hole here so that air can pass through this. Okay, we can introduce this tube inside this. Okay, and then we'll close this lid. And then what is placed here? See, when we are cutting this tube, the bottom of this bottle is cut, we are placing a rubber. Okay, rubber band or something, or the plastic surface which closes this bottom. Okay, so what we are trying to do is, okay, this is the same experiment. Okay, this is the same bottle. Okay, but this is to show when we have we have pulled the this rubber thing. Okay, when we have pulled the bottom, when we have pushed the bottom to the normal, and this is to show when we are pulling it down. Okay, this is bottle shows when we are pulling down what happens. Okay, so when this, yes, the basic setup is ready, we have closed the bottom. Okay, this is the main thing. We have to cut the bottom and we have to place a rubber, okay, or rubber band or something, right. And now our experiment begins with this. Okay, we have this setup, and what do we do is we need to pull this up. Okay, so when we pull this up, we can clearly see the balloons get inflated. Okay, the air, the air present in the balloon gets filled, right? The air present in this bottle gets filled in with this balloon, right? So when we are pulling this, at the same time, when we just come back to normal, or when we just push this away, okay, here due to the increase in pressure, volume decreases. Okay, so we are relating this experiment with the expiration and inspiration, that is inhalation and exhalation. Okay, so what happens here, this Y tube, okay, due to this inserting this Y tube, we have, with this insertion we have inserted two balloons, right. So these balloons, okay, what happens, volume increases. So when does this volume increases? So when we are pulling this down. Okay, so when we are pulling this down, when this rubber like thing we have tied in this bottom, at the bottom of this bottle, so when we are pulling this down, okay, so that's where the volume of this balloon increases. Okay, when we are pulling, so this is the point you have to remember. See, when we are pulling this rubber thing down, okay, so that's where this balloon gets, the volume of this balloon increases due to the decrease in pressure. Okay, and the same thing here, what happens when we are pulling it, okay, when it is moved back to the normal, okay, when this rubber thing, when it is moved back to the normal, the volume of this balloon decreases. See, you can clearly see the volume has been decreased, right, due to the increase in pressure. Okay, so how can you connect or how can you relate this activity with the mechanism of breathing? Okay, so see, so let us see this Y tube is is trachea and bronchi. Okay, let us relate this with bell jar with the chest cavity, and let's relate this balloon with the lungs. Okay, and okay, so let us relate this rubber thing, okay, this rubber sheet with the diaphragm. Okay, so this is what we have studied. When the air gets in, okay, when the air gets in, see, look at the arrow mark. Okay, so when the air gets in, the diaphragm moved down, right, which made the lungs to increase in size. That's what is happening here. When this air is getting in, when we are pulling this down, the air gets in and the balloons increase in size, increase in volume. That's what happened when the diaphragm is moved back. When there is when there is taking in of air, the lungs, the size of the lungs increases. It needs more space. The same when the diaphragm moves back to its normal. Okay, so the lung size, okay, the lung size decreases and there is removal, there is releasing out of this carbon dioxide, that is the releasing out of this gas, that is nothing but the expiration or exhalation. Okay, so like this we can relate this activity with the mechanism of breathing. So with this activity you can clearly see that yes, of course this diaphragm is the most important, okay, because it provides the space, okay, due to that activity, that process of diaphragm, that is moving of diaphragm, that is contraction and expansion, okay, that makes the lungs, that provides the space for this lungs for breathing. Okay, now yes, the same experiment we can see, this is what we have seen, right, when we are breathing in, okay, the chest cavity expands, the ribs moves out and the diaphragm contracts, right, so diaphragm moves down. Here you can see when we are breathing out, that is expiration, the chest cavity contracts, the lung contracts and diaphragm relaxes, that is it comes to its normal position. Okay, when the diaphragm comes to its normal position, the place, okay, this area, the chest cavity contracts. Okay, when the diaphragm relaxes, the chest cavity contracts, the lung contracts and the air moves out. Because when diaphragm is moving in, the air we have taken in doesn't have much space here. Okay, it doesn't have space to live here. Okay, that's why it just comes out. So basically the concept is when we inhale, when we take in air, okay, so here the chest expansion takes place, because when we take in the air it needs more space, right, oxygen present in our body, it needs space to be there. Okay, so that space is provided by this contraction and expansion movements. Okay, so when we take in air, the diaphragm moves down and the ribs move out, the chest expands, okay, which provides the more space here and oxygen comes here. That is inhalation, and during this exhalation what happens, this diaphragm relaxes, it comes back to normal and the rib cage contracts, the chest cavity contracts, which makes a less space here, and that's why it doesn't have more space for oxygen to be there, okay, or any other gas or any other air. So this air comes out. Okay, so this is the basic mechanism of the breathing. Clear? And yes, we now know what exactly we breathe in and breathe out, right? We have already discussed. But there is a small experiment you can see. Okay, just take a test tube. Okay, just take a test tube here and fill this test tube with a fresh lime water. Okay, lime water is nothing, mixing lemon with water, right? So let us take this test tube. Okay, fill this test tube with the lime water and place a straw here. Okay, so when you are placing a straw here, just breathe out. Okay, just exhale. Once you exhale, just breathe it out. So okay, so what is the change seen here? What exactly happens here? Okay, so when we are blowing carbon dioxide, so that's what we release out, right? So carbon dioxide is the gas which we release out. Okay, here we have a clear lime water, and okay, so when we blow out this carbon dioxide, okay, so when we blow out this carbon dioxide, this lime water turns milky. Okay, this lime water turns completely white. Okay, and this lime water turns white only when there is presence of carbon dioxide. Okay, so lime water turns milky only when there is presence of carbon dioxide. Okay, but when we are blowing it out, when we are breathing out into the lime water, it is turned milky anyway. Okay, so that means our breath, okay, the breath which are giving out consists of carbon dioxide, right? So there is an experiment to show, we breathe out the carbon dioxide. By taking this lime water, we can clearly infer, we can interpret that yes, for sure that carbon dioxide is the gas which we breathe out, because carbon dioxide is the gas, which makes this lime water turn milky. Okay. Yes, now air is mixture of gases which consists of, yes, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide and many other gases, right? So we know air is the gas which consists, air itself. What's the definition of air? Air is a mixture of gases, right? When I say mixture of gases, it means there are many gases. It is a mixture, complete mixture. It has, more number of nitrogen molecules. That it means it contains 78% nitrogen, see 78% nitrogen, oxygen of 21%, carbon dioxide of 0.3%, 0.03% and other many other gases. Okay, it is complete mixture of gases. Okay, but when I am saying we take in air, okay, when I am saying we take in air, when I actually mean we take in oxygen. Okay, we selectively we don't go and take oxygen inside, right? We just breathe in air present in the atmosphere. We do not particularly select oxygen and take in, right? So we just breathe in the atmospheric air present, but the air contains, since it is a mixture of gases, it contains nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide and many other gases. But we need only oxygen. Okay, so what exactly happens here is our atmospheric air, okay, which is a mixture of gases, and when we breathe in, our body selectively needs, okay, all the cells, okay, each and every cell present in our body, respire. Okay, it needs oxygen, right? So it selectively choose the oxygen. It is our body nature, it is our body type that each and every cell needs oxygen. It selectively absorbs oxygen. Okay, so the air entered in our body is transported to various cells through blood. Okay, so this is the job of this blood. So okay, whatever the air we have taken in is provided to every cell, okay, by the blood. Okay, so this blood consists of hemoglobin. Blood is red in color due to the presence of this hemoglobin. Okay, so this hemoglobin has strong affinity for oxygen. Okay, so this hemoglobin attracts, selectively it attracts to oxygen more. Okay, so when we are taking in air, okay, this consists of many other gases and everything, but we need only oxygen. Why? Because our blood consists of hemoglobin, that is the pigment present in our blood. Okay, so this hemoglobin has strong affinity, strong attraction towards this oxygen, and it selectively chooses only oxygen. Okay, so and then it carries oxygen to different parts of the body. But what happens to the remaining gases? Okay, so these remaining gases are expelled out. Okay, so this is what happens. There is a mixture of gases, many other gases, but we need oxygen only. Okay, so as we need only oxygen, because the hemoglobin or the blood present in our body absorbs or attracts only oxygen, and the remaining whatever the gases present or whatever gases we have taken in, it releases out. Okay, so the percentage of oxygen and carbon dioxide in inhaled and exhaled air. Okay, in inhaled air, okay, the whatever we have inhaled air, okay, see we have saying the inhaled air. Okay, so this inhaled air consists of 21% of oxygen and 0.04% of carbon dioxide. See, we have also inhaled carbon dioxide. Okay, we have inhaled some 0.04% of carbon dioxide, you can see, but we have inhaled more of oxygen. 21% of oxygen. That is why we say we are inhaling oxygen. Alright, so when we see the the capacity of the percentage of oxygen and carbon dioxide inhaled or exhaled, okay, when we are saying we have inhaled oxygen, this is because this reason, okay, because the percentage of oxygen we have inhaled is more. We have, during inhalation of air, we have inhaled 21% of oxygen. Okay, we have also inhaled 0.04% of carbon dioxide, but we have inhaled more of, comparatively it's very clear, we have inhaled more of oxygen. That is why we say we need oxygen or we inhale oxygen, right? In the same way, during exhalation, okay, when we exhale the air, when there is a removal of air from our body, this contains 16.4% of oxygen and 4.4% of carbon dioxide. Okay, you can see again, you can you get a doubt here that again, yes, this oxygen, percentage of oxygen is more here, more than of this carbon dioxide. Okay, then why can't we say that we are exhaling oxygen? Because see, here we are exhaling 16.4% of oxygen than 4.4, right? So but this is not how we compare. We have inhaled like 21% of oxygen and we are exhaling lesser than that, right, 16.4%. But here we have inhaled 0.4% of carbon dioxide. So comparatively, compared to inhalation, we are exhaling more carbon dioxide, right? So compared to inhalation, that is 0.404%, we are exhaling more of carbon dioxide. That is why we say during exhalation we exhale carbon dioxide. Okay, clear? So during inhalation, comparatively we have inhaled. Okay, so here see, we do not, so though this is quite huge number, only 16.4%, but we do not say we have exhaled oxygen. Okay, we do not say we release out oxygen, because inhaling percentage of oxygen inhaled is more. Okay, so that's why we say we inhale oxygen. Okay, but as the same way, percentage of exhaling carbon dioxide is more. Okay, though we have inhaled carbon dioxide, but the percentage is very less, so we say that we inhale oxygen and we inhale carbon dioxide. Yes, now there is a case, we yawn. Many of the times we yawn, when we are sleepy, when you are listening to boring classes, right? Everyone yawns when you are sitting idle, when you are doing some boring jobs, when you are just have less sleep, or when you are watching TV sometimes. Okay, right? There are many times we do yawn. Okay, but what is the reason behind this yawning? Okay, so yawning causes increase in blood pressure. Okay, so when we open our mouth wide, okay, when we yawn, this makes the blood pressure increase. Okay, and due to this our heart rate increases, and due to the increase in the heart rate, yes, of course there is increase in the blood circulation, and at last the oxygen supply increases. Okay, so this is the point where I am coming. Okay, when we are yawning, we need more of oxygen. Okay, so that is the thing behind when you yawn. It's because you are inhaling more of oxygen. Okay, the yawning causes increase in blood pressure. This makes the increase in heart rate, and this again makes the blood circulation increase. So that is the reason, okay, which makes the oxygen supply, oxygen, we need more oxygen then. Okay, so that's why, we just open our mouth wide to get, to take in the oxygen more, because that's when our body needs some of the more, oxygen. Okay, so this is the reason behind this yawning. And yes, why do we sneeze? Okay, so when the foreign particles reaches the nostril lining, a signal is sent to the brain. The brain sends back a message to take a deep breath in and a strong breath out. Yes. So when we are, when something happens, while you are going around, while you are, moving somewhere, when you are walking fast, when you are outside, okay, when you are playing, when you are in some dusty place, you sneeze all of a sudden. Okay, sometimes we sneeze usually when we have cold, right? But apart from that, when we are not having cold, when we are not having flu or something, then also sometimes we sneeze. Okay, and the reason behind this sneezing is that sometimes what happens, the foreign particles, okay, foreign is something which is not us, which is not ours. Okay, so the foreign particles, the dust particles, anything, the pollens, the flower, pollens from the flowers or anything. Okay, sometimes due to this dust, due to some wind, what happens, sometimes it gets into our nose, it gets into our nostrils. Okay, so that when that something, some another particle enters in our nose, so what happens, this sends a signal to the brain. Okay, so when the brain gets signals that yes, something is something has got inside our nose. Okay, so when the brain gets signal that, so what the brain does is, brain sends back again a message that take a deep breath in and to just just strongly breathe out. Okay, so when something gets, some particle or dust particles or something gets inside our nose, so we send a message to the brain, that is, the brain gets a message that yes, something has gotten in. So what the brain does is, the brain sends back a message to us that take a deep breath in and breathe out. Okay, so that taking a sudden deep breath and strong breathe out is nothing but sneezing. Okay, you might have observed while sneezing, we first we take a small breath in. Okay, we just take a deep breath in and all of a sudden we just breathe out. Okay, we do that because to expel, okay, to release out the foreign particle or the dust particles which have already gotten in our nose. Okay, so this is the reason behind this yawning and sneezing. Okay, so this is about today's class. Okay, in today's class we have learnt about the respiration in human beings. Okay, we have studied in detail about the mechanism, about all these parts we have studied in the last class itself. In today's class we have learned the exact mechanism, what exactly and how respiration happens, right? So respiration, the mechanism of breathing or respiration involves two things mainly, that is inhalation and exhalation. Yes, we have seen these differences in detail. Okay, and yes, during inhalation, okay, when the air gets in, the diaphragm moves down. Okay, the diaphragm moves down, the ribs moves out, which gives more space for the oxygen, and that's why oxygen is taken in. That is inhalation. And during exhalation, what happens, the diaphragm moves back, the diaphragm comes to normal position and the ribs moves back to its normal position, which makes this surface, chest cavity or the lung surface to contract. Okay, then that's when the air is not having sufficient place to stay there, that's why it comes out. Okay, so that is what releasing out air, that is nothing but exhalation. Okay, and here is a small activity to relate with the mechanism of breathing. Okay, and yes, this is how exactly breathing in and breathing out occurs. During breathing in, that is inhalation, chest expands, the lung expands, and that expansion is due to the diaphragm contraction. And here breathing out during exhalation, the chest contracts, lung contracts, because the diaphragm has moved back to its normal position. Yes, what do we breathe out? Yes, we all clearly know that we exactly take in oxygen and we breathe out carbon dioxide. Okay, so lime water turns milky due to when there is presence of carbon dioxide, and in this experiment we can clearly see we are blowing out air and this lime water is turned milky. Okay, the lime water turns milky only when there is presence of carbon dioxide. Okay, when this lime water is already turning into milky because our blowout, that means our blow consists of carbon dioxide. Okay, and yes, air is a mixture of gases, but we do take in air inside our body. Okay, but our blood, our body, our each and every cell needs selectively oxygen. Okay, so because this blood has hemoglobin, that is a red color pigment. Okay, so that contains or that has more strong affinity or more attraction towards this oxygen. Okay, so due to that we observe only oxygen, and that is why we say we need more of oxygen. And among all these mixtures of gases, during inhalation we inhale some 21% of oxygen, okay, and 16% of oxygen is exhaled out. Okay, during inhalation, with this oxygen we also inhale this 0.04 of carbon dioxide, but we say we inhale oxygen, it's because of this no comparison. See, we exhale, we inhale more oxygen than exhaling, right? We inhale more oxygen than exhaling, that's why we say we inhale oxygen. In the same way, we exhale, okay, we exhale is we release out more of carbon dioxide than inhaling. So that's why we say we exhale carbon dioxide or we release carbon dioxide, okay. And yes, we on do because of we need oxygen supply, sometimes, and yes, we do sneeze sometimes, even we are not having cold or flu, even we are all well, we do sneeze sometimes. It because sometimes accidentally or by mistake some dust particles or fine particles gets inside our body, and when we take a strong deep breath in and when we strongly breathe out, that is to expel that particle out from our nose. Okay, so this is about this today's class, and this is all about the respiration in human beings. In the next class, we shall see the respiration in different organisms. Thank you.